Good evening and welcome to the Human Rights Commission meeting. It is Monday, January the 8th, 2024, 5:30 p.m. And I'm calling this meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Flood. Present. Commissioner Clary. Commissioner Rinke.
Here.
Commissioner Horn. Commissioner Greer.
Here.
Commissioner Remus indicated he was out sick. Vice Chair Vignola,
I'm present.
Chair Loyola,
I'm present.
Student Representative Hanner. Not present.
Okay. Thank you for that. We have quorum. So we're gonna move on to the next item in the agenda, which is presentation. Today, we have scheduled a discussion of the presentation to the 1PS organization, which is our organized neighborhoods in Palm Springs by Commissioner Rinke. Commissioner Rinke, can you provide us an update on this, please?
I can. I have permission to present, to One Palm Springs. I suggested maybe March. I realize there's a new president, but Peter Sipkin, and I think the new, vice chair had also approved it. So it's a matter of putting together the presentation and getting it on the schedule. So I would like help with whoever would like to help me, including David, since David is the documentarian here. And then to be able to put together what you all would felt would be the best features to show to the 55 neighborhoods of One Palm Springs.
Mhm.
They meet the Tuesday after our Monday meetings, so they'll be there tomorrow. So tomorrow will be a meeting, and I can again check and put a date on the schedule, but I was thinking March.
And the goal of this is to present them with what the commission work is, and then open it up to see how they want to engage with the commission. Would that be a fair assessment?
That sounds reasonable, and to also make them aware of what it is we do, how to register complaints, and and see, that's a really good suggestion. How we can help them in their various neighborhood organizations.
So do you envision this presentation to be kind of a PowerPoint with some literature that we can provide to attendees? How do you envision the format?
The format would be 15-minute presentation, PowerPoint, maybe 7 slides, and then we can certainly provide some information or some pamphlets about what we do. Do we have those available?
Yeah, everything we provide, like how to file a complaint and things like that, happen to be on the website.
Okay,
So one quick suggestion is probably give the public a quick overview of the website, like where can they find things?
okay,
Where can they find our agendas, perhaps? Show them the link to find the form for complaints. When we have like the community award nominations,
okay.
things of that nature. And then bring maybe sufficient copies to pass around of information about the commission. We do have a PDF that we can reproduce, right?
A form, yes, and information about the commission. I believe there's glossy printed, handouts that were used at, various events. But commissioners, I would like to ask if we receive a complaint or a request for mediation, how would you like to handle it? We have one trained mediator, I believe it was certified mediator. Do you have any suggestions or recommendations on that?
So my first comment for that would be, yes, we should perhaps revise the language in our website that explains clearly if anyone wants to file a complaint, the fact that we do have and offer mediation services by a certified mediator in our commission. And maybe very clearly explain what will be the process for filing such complaint and request mediation services. Because I don't think we have like a form or anything that says, I need mediation services, right?
I believe there's a form, it's just when we receive the form, would you like it to go to, if Commissioner Flood would want to hear it? Or see that complaint and then offer his expertise? How to proceed?
Are they at? Well, there's confused, because there's I can pull it up, but, or I don't know if you can pull up the website. But there's the notice of complaint of discrimination, but I'm not sure that that's a request for mediation. I mean, who would you be mediating with? If somebody's complaining about being discriminated or a victim of a hate crime?
It's,
I think they're two different things.
there are two different things.
So I'm not sure we have a process in place for handling.
So if the form that we currently have on the website does not allow the public to request mediation services, we either need a mediation request form, or we need to amend the current form to include a section when public can request mediation. And that would allow us to, I guess, open the investigation and offer our mediation services. What's your take on that?
I've been certified for a little over 2 years, and this has never come up before as far as part of the Human Rights Commission. I've been mostly bogged down with small claims court, Palm Springs Court. But the reason back early when I was on the commission, there was a need for someone to be a mediator. There was another commissioner was a mediator, and I don't remember who that was, but anyway, then when he or she went away, then they said it came from the county, Riverside County, that they had this training course, and it was taught by professors from the college, and so it was doing right at the pandemic time. So, but right after that, once I was certified, nothing ever came through the commission on that, and I was always wondering how that was going to be handled. But I can see being the only person, but there's opportunities sometimes coming up, I think this year, for others to have the same training. It's about 2 or 3 months course that usually right. But anyway, I'm ready to learn to give my expertise a little I have as far as, and usually the mediator, of course, you need two parties sometimes. So if party A comes in and he or she is complaining about party B, well, B doesn't show up, then you don't have, you can't mediate. So, yeah, that's what I said.
To Vice Chair's point, I've got the mediation services on the screen. As you can see, it indicates trained mediators are available to offer their services free to the community. Mediation helps resolve disputes. The Human Rights Commission mediates complaints of discrimination as prescribed by the city municipal code that can be found on the city clerk's webpage. All parties must agree to participate. To file a complaint, complete the complaint of discrimination form. So it's mediation for discrimination. Is that everyone's understanding?
Yeah, it's confused.
That's confusing. That's confusing.
And I don't know what happens where's the complaint of discrimination form?
Right there, if you
go?
click on, if
But
you
where
click on
does
the
it
link,
go? Is it filed with the city clerk? And
I
what
believe
does-
it's on the resources, if you open up resources, or maybe
Yeah,
documents,
it's
right there.
There's one right there, but
Mhm.
it doesn't say where it goes. Does it go to you, Jay?
So if you read the form,
It would come to me.
if you read the form, yeah, the person who's filing needs to complete the form, and then if you keep on scrolling, Jay. Complaint and documentation, so you choose what is the person is complaining about.
Keep
And
going
then
down.
give information about the organization of the person. What happened, lots of questions there,
But
but then I want to see the call to action, how do you file?
right below that line, it says
Signature and date.
it's received by the Human Rights Commission.
Okay.
Who?
So if you read that section clearly, date received by Human Rights Commission. Refer to Commissioner and then there's a name, so if someone sends that to you or myself or Commissioner Renke or then that name needs to be there.
But that's my point, Mr. Chair. The person filling out the complaint of discrimination form doesn't know where to send the
Correct.
form.
That is,
My assumption is he or she would send it probably to the staff
City.
liaison
Mhm.
for the Human Rights Commission.
Yes, I'm fairly confident if it was submitted to anywhere in the city, it would make its way to me.
And then you would do what with it? Hand it to him?
Yes.
Okay.
So we need to make sure that the language in the form clearly indicates what are the steps for submitting it. Because as it stands right now, it's a little confusing.
Because under mediation services, it says to file a complaint, complete the discrimination form. That's it.
Yes,
So we do need some, I don't know,
some clarity as to,
You know, historically, though, it doesn't sound like there's been complaints. The mediation, for my own experience, is like lawyers, legal or professional mediators. What would we have to offer, especially if I'm presenting to the White Palm Springs?
so that'd be a question for our training
Look,
commissioner.
the whole thing with the mediation is that you don't need lawyers, basically, and, mediators trained to facilitate communication, that's one of the things I say. I
have we
can't
ever
make
done a
it,
mediation?
I've never done with human rights, I mean, I've always done
Right.
the ones with the court with small claims, and people come
Yeah,
in with claims, I've never done anything here.
Right.
I don't know that we have a process for like two parties to come to us and ask for mediation services.
Right.
Maybe we need to look into
Well,
That-
and.
how you would, as a mediator, want to receive, what information would you want to receive from somebody seeking mediation services?
And what kind of action is engaged, if somebody has been sexually discriminated against? What kind of action would we recommend? I guess the two parties, agreeing that, because usually it's about money changing hands in some of these grievances, right?
Or maybe not a service received or something
right,
like that.
right.
Yeah, I think once you open this form, it goes from mediation to discrimination pretty quick. So mediation could be any number of things, but I think based on this, what the commission would consider is items more of discrimination.
For sure.
Um,
But I think we need to go back to under mediation services. There's a reference to the Human Rights Commission mediates complaints of discrimination as prescribed by city municipal code that can be found on the city clerk's webpage.
So that should be a
Is that
link,
accurate
that should be a
statement?
link
I don't
to
know
the
that
city
that's
clerk's
actually-
webpage.
But I don't know if there's anything on the city clerk's webpage that actually.
Well, the city clerk's webpage has, all of the, legislation that affects, establish the Human Rights Commission, and I do believe, ordinance. There are references to mediation.
Yeah,
And I think there is something in the municipal code about mediation, if I remember right.
so maybe that should be a link that goes right into that section, so people don't have to spend hours and hours going into a rabbit hole looking for the information. This really needs to be clear for anyone who's experienced an issue and has a grievance.
I'm wondering, David, you can, fill me in on, are there remedies that we have done in the past? Are we able to do any remedies, or is this just a sounding board?
It's whatever comes out of the mediation, and I have not been a part of anyone since I've been here.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. What kind of mitigation
but-
strategies do we have?
So, yeah, what remedies are we able to,
I do have another
Okay.
question because Commissioner Flood went through this training and we used to have another commissioner. What would be the opportunity to get other commissioners to go through the same training and perhaps have some kind of a strategy discussion meeting to help us figure this piece
Well,
with their understanding and their knowledge?
the code is pretty clear as to what is meant by mediation. It says in the Human Rights Commission, Human Rights Commission investigate and with the assent of the concerned parties, conciliate or mediate all incidents of discrimination within the scope of this chapter to the extent such functions are not within the responsibilities of the California Fair Employment Practices Commission or any federal, county, state, city, or other established agency, and make specific and detailed recommendations to the interested parties as to the method of eliminating such discrimination. So I guess,
So does that basically?
I don't
mean we
know
are
how
a
you
referral
execute
source?
that as a mediator, but that's what the statute says is our
Right,
responsibility for mediation.
and quite frankly, it was, that part of it was never covered in training or education. It was more like, two parties that disagree about, he didn't renovate my kitchen correctly. I mean, I'm not getting paid the same as the other person and odds and ends, like things like that. And I had a couple though that were sort of domestic, but I try to avoid those because it's like,
Sure.
who's gonna have custody of a child? I mean, that's really not my expertise and they didn't cover that, but I'm there. And the bottom line is there's a judge there and we do have a form that once they sign the form and I sign the form, both parties sign the form, they have to be, they're held to that. If someone says, okay, I'm gonna pay X amount within 30 days, that person has to do that, or else the law will come down on it. And usually they walk away with that, but quite frankly, like tomorrow I go to mediation, small claims, across the street there. It's gonna be mostly legal things. I can hear maybe 6 cases, and I'm lucky I can settle one.
Mhm.
Because some of them come in and the minds are made up and they want to fight, but so my job, and again, going back to the communication, my background is communication before I had this, so to try to get parties to recognize that that you have to come to an agreement. It's up to the parties to make the agreement. I can't say you are wrong, or you have to do this, you gotta do it this way. I just let them talk, I listen. And then if there's a point that comes out, I'll try to get them to develop that point. And there's always, I said, you guys are coming in here, you know each other in some way, whether it's just a business thing or not. I said, think about how you want to resolve this. I mean, if you think you're gonna get the max of $10,000, sometimes they come in just to say 10,000 and it might only be 8,000. So sometimes I get into a point where I think I'm an auctioneer. I said, well, would you take 7,000? You know, something like that, you know, and it goes on like that for a while.
That sounds more like arbitration.
Well, arbitration is more of a legal thing too.
It sounds to me from what you said is our role would be more of a referral source, but we would be a sounding board for this. And then as a mediator, you would decide what agency or whatever this should go to in order to effect an appropriate outcome.
But it sounds like for you that they commit to what the judge.
Oh,
has.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's a different,
Well,
that's
yeah.
more,
For
more
us,
than
what I'm trying to
litigation.
say though is for us, to act as mediators, there's no judge, there's no commitment from either
No,
party
no.
to come to some kind of negotiated agreement.
Correct.
You're just acting like a sounding board, trying to get people to come together,
Yeah.
hopefully,
But-
hopefully
but-
in happy terms.
But in order for us to be effective, we have to offer them something which it sounds to me from what David said is that we're looking for, what agency then we would send a recommendation to this agency to do it.
Or it may be just a case of,
And one thing,
I file a notice of, I feel like I've been discriminated as a gay man. Right, and so I filed this notice of discrimination saying, I went into restaurant X and they refused to serve me because they said, we don't serve gay men. So I would file my notice of discrimination and then we would get the restaurant manager and me to sit at the table with one of us and hear both sides of the story. And I think what the statute's saying is we would listen and then we would say, hey, David, it doesn't sound like the restaurant actually refused to serve you as a gay man. They refused to serve you because you were sitting at the table and you didn't have any clothes on. So that was the real issue. They
Yeah.
were saying, we have a right to
Mhm.
refuse service and it's posted there. So maybe you weren't really discriminated because of your sexual orientation.
Mhm.
You were discriminated because you didn't follow the rules, so.
Okay, yeah,
Maybe,
but
maybe
then,
if you come back, the restaurant will offer you a nice meal, but you have to
yeah, and then,
be
you know,
presentable and
yeah.
follow.
Well,
the
hopefully
rules.
the restaurateur would say, I'm sorry.
That's, I
didn't
think
it'd be
that's what
fun."
the statute.
However, if they didn't, what if they did actually discriminate against you because you are gay, then our next step would be to, I assume, write a recommendation saying that you need to take this to the fair or something.
There must
So
be, yeah, I don't know.
Whoever the
what
right,
the next
whoever the
step
right agency, I don't know the right agency.
Well, one thing,
Something is probably.
whole,
going on somewhere.
the auspices of the Riverside County with what's called Community Action Partnership.
Mhm, I know.
And that's what I fall under, the training.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
and under that, they also have other things that they,
Yeah.
have training on.
They do.
So,
Yeah, they do a lot of.
preparing tax or things like that.
I think our goal is, I mean, I think the purpose of the statute might have been to try to have us mediate, for lack of a better word, two parties that feel like they, or one party that feels like they were discriminated, to try to avoid it escalating to something more severe. But if we can't get the two parties to see that, then we have
Then we
to
have to.
facilitate a referral to some other adjudicator, agency.
You know,
Well,
it
probably
would
appropriate
be
agency.
interesting to know whether other human rights committees from other cities have this kind of service that they offer.
So that's a good point. Maybe we could look into other cities to see how they deal with, or how they post information.
I
on
can't
their
imagine that
website.
They wouldn't, I mean, to me, that would be like a basic thing that a human rights commission should do.
Yeah,
Is
Is this-
basically to hear things and then,
How quickly do things
Facilitate.
escalate into legalese or into money?
and that's problematic.
you know, sometimes, I don't know, everyone is different, but sometimes people really, get out their
This
minds.
may be a good thing for us to bring up with the city manager.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
If we are
Present.
statutorily required to provide this kind of
Yep.
service,
Mhm.
then we need the city government to help give us the resources to effectively execute this.
Yeah,
Is that up to date?
Yeah, it's in the code.
Yeah,
I mean, but when was it last revised
Well,
or? But my
It's
question
a
is-
living document. They're always
Yeah.
updating municipal
Okay.
codes, so.
I was just thinking about our rules and our
Oh,
standard
yeah.
and procedures.
So that's-
in 1998.
so
Yeah,
that,
this is the
once we
municipal
figure
code.
that out, that is gonna go into the rules and procedures,
Mhm.
because then we will all know how to handle requests
mhm.
and complaints of discrimination. What is the right
That
procedure?
is
What is the
perfect to bring up.
form?
Perfect.
What is the next step? What is it called to action? What are the resources? How do we steer those folks into the right direction and help them solve their grievances?
Perfect.
So that everyone really feels like the commission did something about it, and we weren't just like,
Yeah.
well, sorry to hear this. There's nothing I can do.
And back to your point, becoming a referral resource,
Mhm.
knowing where to route these different complaints or issues.
So this is a really great point.
When it's justified.
This is a really good point. And this is something that we can take on as commission
Mhm.
and maybe form a little ad hoc committee to work on this, and that would be a good point to David's recommendation. Maybe this is something we talk to our city
Let's talk to
manager
the
in our
city
meeting.
manager and then decide where we wanna take it.
Well, there's
because I
actually a
think it-
section in the statute,
Is there?
2.45.040, which talks about referral and mediation of complaints. So there's even more language in
Oh,
the
okay.
municipal code. I don't wanna read it all,
No.
but it's online. And it
So
talks
What
about
was
all
it-
the
what was
steps.
statute, David?
It's-
Give it to me so I can look it up.
So it's chapter. I printed, chapter 2.45 talks about the Human Rights Commission.
Mhm.
And then the paragraph for mediation is 2.45.040.
Mhm.
Let's check it out. Yeah, that's something we can talk to.
I mean, we really should,
Yeah,
at some point, as a commission, look at the statute.
and then make this as simple as possible to. the
Because it
community.
may, to Commissioner Ranky's point, there may be stuff in there that's obsolete. needs to be updated, and that's something we could recommend to council that it look at this particular paragraph and
Yeah.
maybe change it,
Mhm.
eliminate it, delete it, similar to what I think the council did last year with some of the statutes dealing with, food vendors and stuff like that. There's
Yeah.
always, I mean, things get out of date, so the
That's right.
council has to go back and either change it, update it, delete it.
Why don't I make a recommendation that the three of us as the executive committee review this, 2.45 prior to our meeting with the city manager.
And come prepared to
And
talk
I
to
come
him.
prepared to address if we want changes or if we want clarification or.
We're in the presentation section, so I believe maybe we can do that, for a future agenda item.
Okay.
That was gonna
Okay.
say, this really sounds like an agenda item, and we should definitely include it in the agenda as an item.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. That's a really good discussion.
Mhm.
All right. Having said that, we're gonna continue to move with the agenda. And now we're going on to item number 5, which is acceptance of the agenda. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda? So we have a motion by Commissioner Greer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Flaw, seconds. Can we take this to a vote, please? All of us that agree, say aye, raise your hand for the record.
Aye.
Okay? So it's unanimous. We do accept the agenda. Thank you. We received some public comments, but I don't see anyone online or in person to provide additional public comments. Do we have any?
Just the comments that were provided earlier, via email.
Okay.
I didn't receive that email.
Okay, it's because you haven't, we're gonna get to that point on your Outlook.
I do.
It was in your city email box. Did you go to
No,
your city email?
We'll get to that, okay.
Okay, but I'm online. and I did
I'll
not
send it
receive
to both of yours, Commissioner.
Okay, I'm just want to say that I'm online now, and I had been online in one of my devices, and I got very little, which is why I got some.
Okay, all right. So that's not the point. We're gonna talk about this. This is public comments. It appears that in addition to that public comment that we received via email, there's no one here in person or online to provide any additional public comments. Is that correct? So having said that, I would then give the floor to our vice chair, who's going to read a statement from the city manager.
If I can find it.
We'll
I
give you
thought I
a-
printed it.
If you give me agenda,
No,
we can try to cycle back to this. You wanted to read it, and I think it should be part of public comments.
yeah,
Now, if you don't find it, let me look online real quick.
I have it in my email.
It was 1 second, people. Ballinger. Okay, I have it. I can read it or you can read it.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay,
All right.
good.
So for the public and for the public record, this is the statement from our city attorney or the attorney for the city, Jeff Ballinger, in relation to section 14 and therefore any other additional public comments with relation to section 14 and the so-called voter report. And I quote from the attorney. The commission may take action on items of business not appearing on posted agenda under any of the conditions stated below. Prior to any discussion or discussing any item pursuant to the subdivision, the commission shall publicly identify the item. Upon a determination by a majority vote of the commission that the emergency situation exists.
That's not what I.
That's an.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
this-
is what you,
there it is.
thank you for your public comment.
Thank you. We'll reset for public record. And in quotes from City Attorney Ballinger. Thank you for your public comments. The Boger report has the subject of considerable public discussion and debate, both before the Human Rights Commission and the City Council. All sides have been heard. In light of the ongoing threat of litigation surrounding this issue, the Commission does not intend to take up further discussion of the report. You and other members of the public are welcome to continue providing your thoughts on the report. However, until further direction is provided by the City Council, the Commission will not be agendizing a discussion of the report, former Mayor Boger, or Section 14/reparations, end of quote. Thank you.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I missed it. The last sentence.
Oh, the last sentence.
So the last sentence is, however, until further direction is provided by the City Council, the Commission, our Human Rights Commission, will not be agendizing a discussion of the report, comma, former Mayor Boger, or Section 14/reparations, end of comment.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So that concludes public comments. We move on to item number 7, which is chair comments. I do have one comment to make to our commission at large. And that is that Commissioner Edwin Ramaran has resigned to his position as commissioner. We received his resignation fairly recently. In his communication to City Council and myself as the chair, and to what's Brandon's position, our
City clerk.
city clerk. Commissioner Ramadan cites conflicts of work, so it's mostly professional and personal conflicts that does not enable him to continue his work as a human rights commissioner, and therefore he felt that it was in the best interest of the commission that he steps down. And so, our new mayor, Mayor Bernstein, has acknowledged, I have personally acknowledged his, communication, and so Commissioner Ramadan has officially stepped down. And I want to make sure that the public knows that we owe a great deal of gratitude to Commissioner Ramadan for his years of volunteer and support to this commission and the work that he's done to advance human rights in Palm Springs and abroad. So thank you, Edwin, for everything you've done. And, you're also head of the commission, so that is what I wanted to share with you today. And I also want to welcome all of our commissioners to our new calendar year, so happy new 2024. We're gonna have 12 months ahead of hopefully a lot of really good work, like in the past. And lots of activities. I'm really happy to see that we are more actively engaging with our community in ways that we always wish, but now we are finally starting to see. So thank you, each and every one of you, for all the work that you do for this commission, and I truly look forward to continue working together with you as we move forward into 2024. Those are my comments. We're gonna move on to item number 8, which is the approval of minutes for December 11th, 2023. Do I have a motion from any commissioner to approve the minutes of December 11th, 2023?
I move to approve them.
Commissioner Rinke has put in a motion. Do I have a second? Commissioner Greer, seconds. Any discussion?
I just had one correction. Do we have to correct? Oops, sorry. I just had one correction to the December 11 minutes. Do we need to, if we need to, do we need to correct an individual's name? Is that relevant or?
Yes, we can definitely.
Okay, so I think,
think it's,
page 3, number 8, under the Youth Education Affairs Standing Committee section. It says Vice Chair Vignolo identified a pending student representative application from Amalia Figueroa, but I think I had the first name wrong. I don't think it's Amalia. is it?
Figueroa.
Adriana, we have. it on-
Adriana.
Adriana.
Her name is
On the-
Adriana
on the-
Figueroa.
On new again.
Just want to get her name corrected.
So yes, we can make that right, yes.
Or thinking,
right, to be approved as amended, the
Mhm.
motion. Thank you.
Mhm. So the minutes have been approved, and we'll make sure that that correction takes place.
Yes, and we will still need a vote.
So we're gonna take a vote to approve the minutes, and all those in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
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 So we have a unanimous consent. Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on to item number 9, which is items for discussion and action. And we're gonna start with committee and liaison reports. The first one is the master calendar, Commissioner Vignolo, Vice Chair. Would you like to walk us through what's ahead in the next few months?
Oh, sure, so. Where are we? So January, obviously, we. Our first. Appearance at the Certified Farmers Market. Will be on Saturday, January 20th. From 8 AM to 1 PM. I. Forget who, has anybody volunteered
I
to
did,
be with me?
no, I did, from 8 to 12.
8 to 12, so it'll be myself and Commissioner Rinke. We'll give that a try and see how it goes.
Sure.
Hopefully it won't be too windy, because I haven't gotten anything to secure the canopy yet. But, I'll try to do that between now and the 20th. As Commissioner Ranky pointed out, the 1PS membership meeting is actually tomorrow, Tuesday, the 9th, not the 16th. I think that's the only thing, I mean, I put the MLK Basketball Classic on the 13th and the commemoration celebration on the 14th, but I don't think we're participating in any way, but certainly
Is there any Palm Springs celebration
not
of
this
Martin
month.
Luther King?
No. February, we have the gala, the Black History Committee's 14th Annual Awards Gala. Again, I don't know if any of us are going
When is that
to that.
again?
That is
Saturday,
the
the 3rd,
Okay, got it, yeah.
February 3rd.
Mhm. So just as a quick reminder for this, so last year we received an award from the committee.
Mhm.
And most of us participated in the event. This is one event that we all individually purchased our tickets.
Think so.
Yeah, so if anyone is interested in attending, certainly encourage it. You should definitely consider attending. It's a fantastic event, it's a great event for the community. They serve great food, etc., but this is definitely gonna be at our own expense. And you can still buy tickets online.
I have as a placeholder on Saturday, the February 10 and the 17th. Being back at the Certified Farmers Market, but we don't have any commissioners signed up for those 2 Saturday mornings. So if any commissioners want to staff our table, please let me know so I can add you to either of those 2 Saturdays, otherwise we'll have to not attend, but they're on there just to show. We obviously have the Community Service Awards on the Monday, the 12th, in lieu of our regular meeting.
And we'll get to
And
this.
then we have the 24th, Saturday, the 24th is in the Black History Committee's 37th Annual Parade and Town Fair. Again, I don't know that we have any role in it or have been asked to.
So other than marching, other than submitting an application to march as a group, there's really not much to do. So this is yet another one of those important parades. We did this last year. It was a very fun event. Weather's a little cool. And it's a different route than the previous parades. So I guess the question is there any interest from commissioners to march this year? As a reminder, we need more than 2 people to carry the banner.
What's the town fair? Over the town fair.
So that's probably where they have stands or booths, right? For that event, I don't remember from last year, because we did the parade and we had a great deal of time. It was fun. But that's all we did. We just marched.
I only saw the one, didn't we get one letter or something from them? But that was it. I mean, I don't think they,
Yeah, I don't think we have received an official invitation this year.
I haven't seen anything.
No, me neither. So, I mean, if you feel like you would like to do it, we can submit an application. It doesn't cost us anything to march. But we need more than 2 people carrying that banner.
I'm gonna be, I'm entertaining out of town. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna be-
So it sounds like this is a no for this year. Okay. Of course, even if we're not marching, and if you wanna just join the parade and wear your badge and say hello to folks, that's perfectly okay.
I mean, I guess I could reach out to the program coordinator and ask her. 'Cause we do have. You sent out the parade application, so we never responded. to
No,
her.
we never did.
So I don't know.
And again, parades are fantastic, but you really need to have more than 2 people marching. I did the pride once by myself and it is not pleasant.
Okay.
It's like, who's that guy marching by himself?
March, we do have to decide as a commission if we wanna participate in the 1 PS picnic. It's Saturday, March 23rd. There's no cost to do it, and I think last year
It was just the
it
2 of
was
us.
just the 2 of us at a table. It's an opportunity for us to again have some exposure in the community.
And-
Particularly if it would be the month it'd be the month of your presentation.
Oh,
So it'd be kind of a nice
Yes,
kind of thing to do after Commissioner Ranky presents on March, 9th, if we.
and the other thing I'd like to just add to that is that this is one event where pretty much every city official, lots of people in the community, every organized neighborhood is there. It's a fun event. There's food, there's music, you can bring your dogs. It really is a beautiful community event, so I would strongly urge that we definitely consider being there, even if it's the 2 of us again.
Well, I will be out of town, so I cannot do it.
But I'm gonna raise my hand, I'm gonna say I'm gonna be there.
yeah.
So if we have 2 people, March 23rd, if we have 2 commissioners willing to staff a table at Ruth Hardy Park from 11 AM to 2 PM, I will send in the
Mhm.
sponsor and exhibitor registration form. But I need to know which commissioner to
I'm
put down.
gonna be there, even if we don't have a table.
I'll do that.
So
Yeah. I
we
think
have our table, we
Yeah.
have 2 chairs, we'll set up our
The
canopy.
canopy,
we
yes,
usually do our center, but I think I'll be available, so.
beautiful.
March
Yeah, I'll do
23rd.
So at least, Commissioner Greer and myself.
Okay, so I'll send this in and list, I guess, the chair as the contact for the day of the event,
Mhm.
and that'll get us a space at
Wonderful.
Ruth Hardy Park.
It's a beautiful event, it really is.
We have to go around.
I regret not being able to attend, but I'm.
But it's always next year.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
But any of the handouts or even your presentation to one PS
mhm.
earlier that month, if we have hard copies of it, we
Oh,
could
sure.
have it on the
Well, of
table
course.
on March 23rd. So that would be,
Yeah,
make extra. If you have any handouts when you do the presentation.
Anything else on master calendar, Commissioner Vignano?
Nope, that's
That's
it for,
perfect.
that
Thank you,
takes
Mike.
us through March, and I guess in March, we'll talk about April, May, June.
Yep, wonderful. Thank you, Vice Chair. Next on the agenda is the student representative program. Is there any changes to report? Vice Chair?
Yeah, so I wanted to discuss with the commission the couple of things on the program. So one is the part of the current requirements are that students that apply for this position under this program apply at the end of their freshman, it says they must apply at the end of their freshman, sophomore or junior year for participation in the following school calendar year. Part of the issue with the current applicant, Adriana Figueroa's application, is that she's a senior, applying essentially to be the student representative for the remainder of her senior year. So I'm posing to the commission this issue of, do we want to continue to limit the student representatives, requiring them to apply in their freshman, sophomore, or junior year? Or do we want to open it up to seniors? That's number one. And then two, I feel we owe Adriana Figueroa a response, whether we are gonna accept her nomination to be the student representative for the remaining 5 months of 2024 that she's a senior. Or do we politely respond, thank you, but unfortunately, the commission decided that.
I have an opinion, but I'd love to hear anyone else's first.
I wanted to know, is there criteria? Is this part of the rules and standards?
No.
No,
This is independent. Okay, so we don't have any formalized document or process about how.
only what's on our
On the website.
website under the
Okay.
student representative program. Now,
Okay.
we did get clarification from the city that as long as you don't have to be a resident of the city, but you can, as long as you go to school in Palm Springs, that's fine. Adriana resides in Desert Hot Springs, but she is a student in Palm Springs Unified School District. So I think we need to, there's a discrepancy on our website with that requirement. And I think one of my action items here is that we motion to remove that Palm Springs residency requirement, so it is consistent with the determination from the city clerk and the city attorney that, no, you don't have to be a resident. So that's I'll make that motion in a moment, but this issue of whether do we take applications from seniors, or do we want a student representative who will only be a student representative?
I think we should take this, my opinion.
Take it?
Right, I agree. She's expressing interest.
Right,
I completely agree. I completely agree and support that, because anyone who expresses interest in participating in the civic duty should be allowed. Unless obviously there be some kind of egregious reasons for not accepting someone, even if it's for 5 months or 4 months, to engage in this kind of civic duty and volunteerism. I don't see a reason why. The other thing obviously is, do we just limit this to students that study here in Palm Springs? We do serve the greater Palm Springs area. Our awards also are promoted and awarded to organizations that serve our community even outside of Palm Springs in the greater Coachella Valley. So the geographic issue is not an issue in my opinion. And so my thinking is that we should definitely, well, first, yes, we should agree the receipt of for application. We should do a quick interview. I would definitely highly support student Figueroa to join, even if it's for a few months, to give her an opportunity to experience what it is to participate and engage in this kind of civic activity. That's my thought.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So we have to just, I guess, make a motion to
Yeah,
correct
so-
the nomination form
Yeah.
online.
is it okay if I put a motion forward to amend that nomination form online? Do I have a second?
A second.
Okay, can we vote, please? Those of us in favor? Raise
What
your
are we
hand.
voting on? We
To amend
removing
it?
the Palm Springs residency requirement.
Yes, we are.
And the
And the,
academic requirement
Yes.
being a freshman, junior, or sophomore. So
Yes.
it's really just be a student.
And we're gonna amend those documents online. Right? Wonderful, yes. So I didn't see a vote from you, but so it's a four,
Oh, that's
yes,
fine.
so yes, okay, so we do have full votes, thank you.
But did you want to also eliminate the must reside, work, or go to school within the city of Palm Springs?
Yes, because I think our commission really serves the greater Palm
I think
Palm
that's
Springs and the Coachella Valley area.
There's a reference to the code, though. Palm Springs Municipal Code 2.06.010, so that may be more complicated.
Commissioners, I would think the city's rules on who can become a commissioner would address this question. And the city allows individuals who live, work, and go to school in Palm Springs to be commissioners.
There you go.
Well, I should say, live, work, or go to school in Palm Springs.
Yeah,
to be
so
commissioners.
that supersedes ours.
so that kind of supersedes everything.
I have a-
And if we have to bring this up to city manager or whoever, we'll, because I think it merits it.
I have a question, does it apply just to high school students? Or can it be college that doesn't?
That's a good question. A student representative.
They might
is
live
broad.
in Palm Springs and go to school in college if it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I don't know, I don't know if it's just high school or not.
That's a really good question, because student is very broad. It doesn't specifically say only high school students. So it could be college.
It does say, grade or fall, I'm on the website, grade fall of 2018. Is updated here, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade.
Oh,
Little
High
box.
school.
Yeah,
all right, so that
That explains it.
but I mean, opening it up to a college education student, I'm sorry, of a College of the Desert student might be a really good idea.
So if we're gonna amend this, maybe this is another item that we take up for agenda. Because then we could certainly make the case to open it up to students that are in college.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, when does one interest in engaging in civic discussion for human rights, where does it start? Yeah.
especially if, a college student isn't interested in politics, social sciences, they might be very well interested in.
So let's put this in the agenda. And then, yes, I think this merits for us to discuss, open it up to also college students.
And where was the high school requirement?
Human rights student,
There's
it's
an
off the
application.
website.
There it is
It's
there.
a document linked to the website.
Okay.
Great. Any further
So
discussion?
will that be on the next month or
Mhm.
March's agenda?
March, yes, February is moved because of our community services.
I have a suggestion. Do we send some kind of thank you or acknowledgement to our
Yeah.
our previous student? Who's
Lily?
Lily, yeah.
I was gonna bring that up in March, because she's graduating in May. And I
Okay.
think
Well, for
since she's not here, we could probably
If
I think we should probably do something for her in May.
Yeah,
Okay, I was thinking of accepting Adriana. When would we expect her to start?
Well, we'd have to, I don't know what the process is, we'd have to.
it requires a quick interview, yes?
I don't think we
Yeah,
have to
application,
interview her.
there's an application form.
We
on
have
the
the
website.
form already from her.
Oh, you
I don't
do?
know if it
Okay.
Requires an interview, you could waive the interview. if
So,
you're comfortable
Me as the
with-
chair, I can just write her a thank you and we welcome you and we expect to see you in our next meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Assuming she still
straightforward.
wants it, but.
Yeah.
So I'll take, then I'll definitely, agree to do that.
So I'm assuming, the motion and, second applied to all these items? Yeah, listed in this item, okay.
Mhm. And yes, I completely agree, we should do something for Lily.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I just don't know what we can do. Can we get her some kind of certificate of appreciation, Jay, for her service on the
I
commission?
can definitely look into that, yes.
But I also think a letter from perhaps the commission and maybe even city council would be good for her resume.
Perfect.
Yes?
Agreed. Yeah.
Excellent. So any further discussion here? We're good? All right, so 9C is going to be skipped because Commissioner Rimas is not here today. He is sick with COVID.
Let's do that.
So we're gonna have to, yeah, postpone this. 9B, discussion and motion to approve revised rules and standard operating procedures of the Human Rights Commission of City of Palm Springs. Document, Vice Chair.
Well, in your agenda packet, Jay included the most current version of the document, and there's just a few sections that we've not previously discussed, so I highlighted those or bolded those. First one, and now there are page numbers, so if you look at, and this will have to, I guess, be subject to change now, page 4 of 9. The paragraph K as in Kentucky, it talks about the student representative position. So if we, I mean, I guess it, as it's written, is probably still fine, it's not, because it doesn't really talk about the eligibility criteria, it just says it's on the city's website, so. That's a new section, I added K and I added L. L, just as a context. The commission and any ad hoc committees, standing committees, or work groups shall endeavor to provide full documentation of all source material, as well as clear references to authorship for any work product of the commission. This was in response to a public comment that felt we need to be better about anything we produce, we need to
Yeah. And
cite our
yeah.
site or reference our citations.
And I fully support that in the sake of transparency. I don't think
Thank
anyone
you,
will,
thank you, David, for adding that.
yeah.
Perfect.
So if there are no objections to those two, the other thing I added under attendance on page 5,
Mhm.
all meetings of the commission shall be conducted in accordance with current council approved methods of conducting meetings. This is in response to, I don't know if Jay, did the council decide? Or is that
Yes,
tomorrow
well-
night or Thursday night?
I'll go into it with the next
Okay,
item.
but this is generic language that just puts us on notice that our meetings will be in accordance with whatever council decides.
Mhm.
Nice language. Yeah.
And then if we skip ahead to page 9, this is, thank you, Commissioner Ranky, really for putting the meat to our position description, if you will, of what commissioners are responsible for doing. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to read page 9, but this describes our 3 at-risk population groups and then what commissioners shall do. This again is a living document, so we can add additional language later, but I wanted to at least put something on paper.
Yeah.
As we to kind of put this to rest.
Yeah,
So,
and I want to say, obviously, for the public record, thank you, Commissioner Ranky, for this, because it really helps us put some clarity as to what is expected of anyone who's thinking about applying to become a commissioner for future reference, what it is expected. So I fully support it. And as far as our vice chair comments, this is a living document, so it can always be looked into and revised
it's a
every
start.
year. So it's a start.
With all due respect, David, that really, Commissioner, you've done a fantastic
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
No, really, you've been patient, you've worked through.
Yeah.
This is very.
Very good diligent work.
Yeah,
So,
Congratulations.
I mean,
Yeah.
my motion is to accept this document as written,
Yeah.
unless we want to change any word or language.
I
And it
second
can
that.
be done, we can always amend it, but I'd like to perhaps send this to the city attorney for a final review.
Mhm.
Once the commission's happy with it in its current form.
I move that we
So-
accept this document
Yes,
in its current form.
any further discussion, let's take a vote. Let's accept it. That's great.
I got the motion, I didn't catch the second.
Second,
Well, I'll second whoever made the motion. Who made the
You
motion?
made the motion.
You made the
You
motion?
both made the motion.
Oh, I made the motion?
You both made
I
the
can't
motion.
second my own motion.
this sounds like,
Here's
it
the
sounds
other way
like
around then.
it's sweater weather. It's sweater weather, people.
And do you want me to send this to you and you send it to Jeff
Sure. That
for
would be
his review with
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
kind of, please let us know, Jeff, in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So we can put it on our website maybe, or,
Mhm.
okay, that's great. I'm gonna leave draft on it until Jeff
Approves it.
blesses it.
Wonderful.
And if he has any changes or recommends any changes, I'll report back in March.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for this work. Excellent, excellent. Let's move forward. The next item is an update and announcement for the 2024 Community Service Awards honorees. I just want you all to know that the executive committee made the calls, sent the emails, did everything we could to contact the initial 9 honorees. We have received, as of today, 8 confirmations, right? And we have agreed to move forward with those 8 confirmations. We need to be able to allow our director of communications to release, to do the PR, the public release. And so that people can celebrate with families and friends and the media can pick it up. We also need to start ordering plaques for the honorees. And we need to finalize the scripts. Traditionally, what we have done, and we don't have time to revise this, so I'm gonna try to go through this as clearly as I can. Traditionally, what we have done is that we have assigned a presentation of each award by one of our commissioners. And each commissioner has an opportunity to introduce the honoree by reading the honoree's background and why we consider this honoree to be worthy of receiving the community award. After reading that, the honoree receives a nice little plaque that the city will produce. The media will take lots of photos. The honoree will have an opportunity to say a few words for the public and the media. And then we move on to the next honoree and the next honoree. And that's a very simple and straightforward process. Our meeting will start very regularly. We'll do our poll roll, we'll do all of our formalities. For this meeting last year, something that went really nicely is we had the guard do the reading of the Pledge of Allegiance. And maybe this year we can do the same. I believe Annie Fonseca helped us organize this, Jay.
I could check with her.
If we could get the honor guard to do help us lead into the Pledge of Allegiance, that was a very nice opening. We still don't know how many, city council members will be in attendance, but last year we had the mayor, and we had at least one city council attending, so we will recognize everyone.
Is
And
it
then
in chambers?
it's in the chambers, it takes place in the chambers at 5:30. And then after we do the awards, we basically close. I think I close with a few remarks and then we post for lots of photos for the media. So all of the media outlets take note of what just happened. This year, the owner of Oscar's Restaurant has offered us to host annual, and now has become an annual dinner event for the honorees, their families or partners or significant others, all of us, and then city staff that will be joining us. And he covers for everything. So he's instituted this as a sort of a celebration for the Community Service Awards, and it's a fantastic thing.
Is this on February 12th?
The 12th.
What, do we go to Oscars after?
So the plan is that we will then, following the meeting, we will all proceed to use our own transportation to get to the restaurant. They have everything arranged for us. And then following dinner and the celebration there, they will also host some kind of, they already have a program, some kind of a show. So everyone is invited to stay for the show as well, which is a lovely thing. On behalf of Dan Gore, who was an honoree from last year. Fairly soon, you're gonna get an invitation to sign up an Eventbrite. The ticket is free. You don't have to pay for anything, but he does this so that he can get at least a good head count and know how many plates they will be serving. So we'll have more information when that email comes out. But what I would like to say is that I think in agreement, we just need to move forward to provide the information through Jay to our Director of Communications so that the PR announcement can be made as soon as possible. Right?
Correct.
And because we did not get that one last confirmation.
One, just
Mhm.
FYI.
So we cannot say the names publicly, but for the public and for the record, you're gonna see this on social media and through all of our city social media channels and all kinds of communications come out very soon. Okay?
So each commissioner will introduce one of the recipients, because there are 8 commissioners now with
Yeah,
Commissioner
So there
Rauer
will all be 8 for one,
Yeah.
yeah.
stepping down, so
Yeah.
8 and 8.
Yeah.
Assuming all commissioners attend.
Mhm.
If we don't all attend, then
Yeah.
you'll have to double
So
up.
we're
Yeah.
double up.
and unless you feel very strongly about you wanting to do the reading for a particular honoree, we were just gonna assign this at random, like we did last year, and it worked out really nicely. Right? If you do feel very strongly like I wanted to be the person who reads this for this honoree, please let us know. So that we can make that arrangement. We'll come up with the order of the readings and all, we'll put together a nice little slideshow introducing the honoree. And yeah, it's gonna be a wonderful event.
Good.
So any further questions, you can always direct it to myself,
You know,
Vice Chair.
I believe the Oscar
Commissioner.
Land Trust is one of the awardees.
We're not talking.
Okay, we're not talking, I know, I'll send you an email.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes, let's do this all.
okay.
So do we need to, should we reach out to the nominees right before the press release goes out,
Mm-mm.
just to give them a heads up?
No,
or-
they'll see it. They'll see it on social media. It'll be on the website of the city. It becomes public very quickly. And it's spread very quickly. The media picks it up like this,
Well,
the next day.
I'm just thinking, no.
You're gonna see it on the Palm Springs
It may-
Post. You're gonna see it in.
It might be worth though, should say around February 1st, if the 3 of us reach out to the recipients
People that
and
we've
just
talked to already.
reiterate the importance of their being present on
Sure,
February.
I
1st.
thought there was a heads up given just before it was released publicly. Didn't you make phone calls, Les?
We
We've
have,
already
Yeah,
spoken to
maybe
them
Yeah.
to confirm that they will
Yeah.
accept it.
yeah,
I just think we should
I think
because they may
I think
get
we should
busy and
confirm it,
forget,
Yeah.
we want them there on February.
We can totally do that, David. The point in which we can do that is when that official press release from the city,
Ready to go.
it's out there. At that point, it's public knowledge and we can certainly make sure that everyone remembers that we have an appointment.
You need to
February.
include them on the e-bike too, right?
Yes, and everyone will be included in the event.
Mhm.
So that's that with our community service awards and yeah, lovely event. Great to be able to host this every year. Okay, item number 10 on the agenda, moving forward. Any additional reports from staff? Liaison.
Yes,
Jay,
thank
it's
you,
all
Mr.
yours.
Chair. Just quick updates on some of the requests that have come forward. The issue of business cards for commissions has come up in the past with several other commissions. And in discussions with the city manager's office, they believe it's probably not a good thing to do, as some commissions have actually moved forward and done it themselves. And you know, it was not a good precedent and left other commissions feeling you know, kind of left out. So that the thought was, well, we'll just, you know, avoid confusion. To a certain extent, you know, city liabilities involved also, individuals represented as commissioners, just as long as they're not, say, going beyond their role and the work of the commission. I think they wanted to be careful of any of that happening. So you all do have name badges, so that helps with public meetings and such. But as far as the business cards go, they did not want to move forward with that.
Well, I'd just like to officially go on the record that I think I appreciate their concern, but I don't really see the liability or the issue of having something that can be handed to someone that says, I'm David Vigneault, I'm a commissioner on the Human Rights Commission, here's my official city email address. And if you ever have an issue that deals with human rights, please reach out to us. And that's the whole purpose of just having something you can hand to a member of the public or an agency. That's why I think we felt it would be useful to help us fulfill our mission.
I tried that 5 years ago.
So, I mean, I guess if we can't purchase or have business cards made up, then we can simply write the information on a blank piece of paper and hand it to them. It's the same thing. Unless the city
The city
manager
seal-
doesn't even want us to do that, but
The
that
city seal would be on the business cards also.
Hmm?
The city
Seal.
seal would have been.
would have to be on a business card.
So phone numbers on a piece of paper are okay.
You know, I'd like to reiterate what David has been saying. You know, if we're meeting with stakeholders and we're trying to be influential, to educate, to advocate, you can't be effective, you know, if you don't have a card. I mean, if it's cold out, you got a coat on, I'm not gonna see your human rights. I mean, I find it a handicap
Yeah,
in being
exactly.
effective as a commissioner. If you put that on, maybe you can ask Scott Stiles. when you
So
meet
now
with-
it's on the record?
Okay.
Well,
So now you're on
and
public record.
I may bring it up when we meet with the
Okay.
city manager. I
That's
just
something you
don't
can bring up?
understand
Sure.
how it can, why it's there's such resistance to having this.
Is it a budget
Tool
thing? Because
to
you do
help
it for
us.
one
No,
commission.
no, there's
You have
I've
all
been through this in other areas, and it has to do with the representation of the city itself. I think that it's problematic, as to when you are representing a city or when you are representing yourself.
Right.
That's where it starts to
But
get.
how is it different if I'm wearing my badge, my name badge,
Mhm.
that says I'm a commissioner with the Human Rights Commission for the city of Palm Springs?
Yeah.
How is it different if I then can hand them an official business card with the city seal on it to say, and here's my contact info, or here's our website. That's-
But I think it might get through if it just were a generic card that said this is how you get hold of the Human Rights Commission. You know,
Something, I just want something to
Perhaps
hand
that
to
might
them.
get through, but I don't know,
Yes,
I've been
yeah.
down, as I said, I've been down this road before, and I know it has to do with representation.
Well,
Right.
That's
mindful-
where
you
they
got
get
your-
hung up legally.
I'm mindful of the time and now it's been a
Oh,
part of
okay.
public record, so we can bring this.
Yeah, we
to-
can bring it up again.
I just wanna
That's
understand
what
it.
is.
We can
So-
bring this to discussion with the city manager. We need to move forward. The next item is B, the update on council direction.
Yeah, so on the teleconferencing rules, the city council did adopt a process that brings it back to the same process in place before COVID. And that is that all commissioners and council members will need to be present at the meetings. Remote meetings are possible for emergencies, but those really need to be actual emergencies, which could include physical or family medical emergency, and for just cause, such as traveling for business or a need for a related, mental or physical disability. But to participate remotely requires posting the agenda at the location that the commissioner is at, making the location open to the public. Could be at, no charge to enter. Let's say commissioner's at an event and you have to pay to enter, that location will not, meet this criteria. And as I mentioned, only allowed for emergency, situations.
Okay.
So does the new policy allow for hybrid meetings or,
It does not.
okay,
No, the answer
so
is
it's
no.
all or nothing. It's either all
Mhm.
remote Zoom or, yeah, all in person.
We have
That would be
officially
fair.
Well,
gone
no,
back.
there's
Did I
no
misunderstand?
all Zoom, that the meetings have to be in person.
Right, so we've gone back, officially, we have gone back to pre-COVID
Correct.
Okay.
situation, which is everyone needs to be here in person.
Can a single commissioner ask to participate via Zoom due to an extraordinary circumstance?
Yes, in
Oh.
that case, it would be a hybrid,
Okay,
but again, they have to meet all the criteria.
got it. And do they
Understood.
submit it to the staff liaison for approval or to the chair for approval?
Needs to go to city staff.
Sure, city staff.
Okay.
Right, right,
That's pretty straightforward. All right,
okay.
next,
Uh. So
we already took a sewer
Very
representative.
see.
right, and actually, that correction's already been made to the webpage
Okay.
to align it with the city's.
The city
Uh,
residency thing.
commissioners, right.
Mhm.
Uh,
And then the email, the city email, which is important.
Yes, so, the city's electronic communication and device policy was sent out to the commissioner, I believe. And just touching on those, it limits the use of city email for official business only, not personal activity. Messages in support or opposition for elected office candidates are prohibited. Unlawful activities prohibited, no threats of violence, no harassment, sending of abusive, threatening, obscene, profane, sexually explicit, sexually suggestive, or disrespectful communications or materials is prohibited. No emailing while driving. And the public has the right to inspect your city emails, and they'll be kept for 2 years.
Mhm. Okay, understood.
But we
Does
should,
anyone,
but we should not be using at all our personal
personal
emails
emails moving
for
forward?
any commission business. Is that the policy going forward?
Because I understood that
That's what-
the intent of us using city provided emails was to make sure that there was that way of keeping records
Right.
of our communications. So that we then would avoid any situation where they would
I,
request our personal records.
to the extent possible, yes. But there, I think there's a difference between using city emails, and following the rules for those city emails, and then using personal emails when necessary, because we've done that
Mhm.
for the past, several years, we've been working and serving here. So, yes, Chair Loyola, as much as possible, for the reasons you stated, please do use your city
Yeah,
emails.
yeah.
But there's
So again,
occasions
for the
where-
public and for us, what I would like to say is let's use common sense.
Mm.
You know, this is part of, I guess, transitioning from what it used to be to what it's going to be. And at this point, if anyone, I'm glad to hear Commissioner Rinke, you've solved the problem with the email and Outlook. But if anyone has issues, technical issues, we have an IT department, right?
Just, yeah.
Correct.
And we have the technical support. We have the tech support. So if you need assistance, any technical assistance, particularly if you're not getting emails from the city, that needs to be addressed as quickly as possible.
You know, I would just like to say that I forgot my password. So I couldn't just, go and, retrieve a new password. I had to go to the city. I just want to comment.
Mhm.
Remember your passwords.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, very, very important. Thank you, Jay. This is important.
Mhm.
Okay, so I captured a couple of items and we can reconvene in the executive for our next meeting in March. Yes, which would be, what do we get for March?
12th,
March
March 12th.
for March, yeah,
Well, March
for
12th is our regular meeting.
Oh,
our regular meeting, because
Okay.
But I think
February.
We're meeting,
Community
executive
boards.
committees meeting.
This is March
We have a meeting.
11th. March 11th is.
Did we set, didn't we set a meeting for February?
If we haven't, we should do that at some point.
March 11th.
Did we set a meeting in January sometime?
Was it
Before you were going
January?
away, David, or something?
We already had that meeting.
We have that,
I think so.
something, or, I forgot.
Yes, because we were cleaning
Oh,
up
January
the items for this
twenty-fourth.
Yeah,
agenda.
we have that.
Yeah, January 24th, the executive committee will be meeting. I guess to talk about items for March, because February is
yeah.
Yeah,
the
And
community service
anything with
award.
community
so-
service, and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
but then we'll have to meet in
February,
February for the March
agenda
agenda.
meeting.
well, we do have the formalities of our
Okay.
meeting, but then we move into the community service awards.
Yeah,
And that's the impetus of the meeting.
Okay,
But March, we reconvene in this kind of a format.
March will be March.
And so if,
11.
if you, have something that you'd like to see in the agenda, as a reminder, please make sure you share it with the executive. You can do it through Jay, which is the right channel. And as our staff liaison, we'd like to see this in the agenda. Anything happens, you attended an event that we didn't talk about, you want to include it in the agenda for discussion, that would be the way to let us know that you want to see something included in the agenda. And also as a reminder, we do have that limit of so many hours prior to the meeting so that the agenda can be made available to the public, in lieu of Brown Act. Any additional announcements? Any further discussion?
I have a question. Do we have access to everybody's email through the, city government email? Because I don't see you when I pull you up.
You don't see me there?
Yeah,
No.
did the February-
I mean, but I haven't had I'm not part of your shared email for the executive committee, and so I don't see you. When I try to pull you up.
All the commissioners,
Yeah, it's
all the commissioners, I mean, it's first name period, last name
Mhm.
hyphen ADM.
Yeah.
At palmspringsca.gov.
And I presume.
And they're all, we're all in the
Yeah,
the
we're all in
address
the
book for the
actual-
city.
I presume ABM is a board member or something like that.
So it's
Maybe
Beverly
that's-
Greer.
Yeah, Beverly dot Greer
I looked this
hyphen
up,
ADM.
I believe it was associate,
Business manager.
Is that what the ADM stands for? Associate?
I'll double check.
So you mean, I have to do the whole-
I
I first thought it's a board
looked it
member.
up before.
Well, there's a way to.
Anyway,
I am.
All right.
coaching.
So if there's anything else, it's almost 7 o'clock.
Adjourn.
I would like to adjourn if we could,
Yes.
and I need a motion to adjourn.
I make
So
that
unless I
motion.
do-
We have, Commissioner Greer.
I second that motion.
Commissioner Flood,
All in
seconds,
favor, would you guys please pay attention over there?
any further discussion?
Beverly dot.
Did you find me?
I would
No.
like to.
I don't, see, I don't know what she's, I don't
I don't know
know.
what you're looking at. I know I
There it is.
definitely can access.
Beverly Dot Greer,
I-
Oh, okay, it just came in.
There it is.
All right,
Got
so
it.
we did
Okay.
have a motion and we had a second. We're gonna adjourn.
Okay,
So for the public, we're going to adjourn. The commission will adjourn to a regularly scheduled meeting on Monday, February 2024, for the Community Service Awards. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Stay
thank
safe.
you. Okay,
Good night.
all
Good
right.
night.